Hello and welcome. This is my channel. As you can see, this is my first YouTube video actually. So I just want to say thank you and welcome. I'm very grateful that you chose to click on this video and check it out for a little bit. Just want to tell you a little bit about myself. My name is Christian. My favorite color is purple. I'm 23 as of this very second, and my social security number is 12345987107. So use that wherever you want. I'm not really using it, so if the IRS comes for us, then we're both going down, buddy. I'm excited to finally get to meet you. A little bit more about myself is that I love video entertainment, whether it's like video games or cartoons or movies. I'm really different. I'm very unique, and but no, I love that stuff so much that I went to school for it. I went to the Savannah College of Art and Design. And fun fact about that, I've never seen my school before. I went during the pandemic, so I just stayed at home and learned that way. Luckily, I had like 12 years of cyber school under my belt, so I could handle it. It was still hard. College is hard. Why didn't anyone tell me that? I study sequential art at Savannah College of Art and Design, which is basically visual storytelling. Um, and I like that so much that now that's what I want to do forever. I want to like draw cartoons and stuff. I would love to talk to you guys about some cartoons. I'd love to talk to you guys about a lot of different stuff on this channel, whether that be art related or world related or whatever. That's actually what I want this whole channel to be, a place where I can share updates on stories and projects with you guys. I have a storyboard that I'm working on for a cartoon that I'm really excited to show you. It's actually a satire of the public transportation system. And the other one is going to be a different satire that I will not allude to right now, but please stay tuned. I have it in the works. Um, Another thing I would love to do is to share you guys' art. I know it can be super daunting when you're a creator on an internet space with so many other awesome creators. It can feel like no one has time to see your work. I would love to just showcase you guys' work that I find interesting or that you find interesting at the end of the videos, maybe at the beginning of videos, just as a way to get more eyes on your work. Um, that's what I'm trying to do now, perhaps. Just trying to get more people to check out different art, different cartoons and such. So it would be awesome if I could turn this into a space where we're sharing art and sharing ideas and sharing all types of stuff with each other. Nothing weird, nothing crazy, nothing gross. Don't be weird. That's like major. Don't be weird. Yes, art of multiple different kinds. And also laughing at stuff. I want us to be able to share and laugh with each other because life is hard. And working constantly trying to knock you down, which is why cartoons are so important because they make you laugh a little bit. That's actually one of the reasons why I named myself WTYGI or Witty G, is because it stands for work till you get it. It's actually not the latest Yu-Gi-Oh summoning. And work until you get it just means working towards your dreams and whatever you want to do with as much enthusiasm as you can. Because life is really hard, and sometimes it just helps to focus on a dream, let's focus on the passion and chase that. Don't get me wrong, it can be hard, but I want you to know that we're in this together. We're working together till we get it. Alright? So we can finally talk about the show. And I think you guys might know this one. This cartoon is one of the most prolific, one of the most engaging cartoons that filled our childhood zeitgeist between 2003 and 2005. That's right, I'm talking about Kenny the Shark. I hear it. The applause. The raging applause. I hear it. Yeah, no one. I don't think anyone remembers Kenny the Shark. It wasn't exactly the cultural icon that its underwater rival SpongeBob was. I don't think Kenny did that well. It's mostly because it was produced by NBC, but they put it on Discovery Kids. And I don't know, can you name 4 shows that you remember off Discovery Kids? I can, but that's because I watch them a lot and I have a problem. But you're normal. Don't be like me. But yeah, Kenny the Shark, it got 2 seasons and 26 episodes within those 2 seasons. And it was also on the same network that gave us My Little Pony. Peppa Pig. Franny's feet. I'm sorry, what? Franny's feet. Uh, hmm. All right. Let's move on. Growing up creepy. Harry and his bucket full of dinosaurs. I'm sorry, I gotta go back to Franny's feet. What? Who made this? Alright. The show centers around a girl named Kat. She's a privileged suburban girl who is unimpressed with other pets. So basically, keep your cats, keep your dogs, keep your turtles, keep your butterflies, keep your iguanas, keep your weird ass crocodiles. But no, she doesn't want any other pet. She doesn't feel like they complete her. Disregards every other one. But luckily for her, she also is paired with an equally overprivileged shark who is tired of the sea. You know, it's only blue, so it can get pretty boring. There's like lots of weird fish under there. There's like clownfish and lionfish. I'm sure it gets very boring under the water. So he's up and goes. He just gets out of the water. People freak out, but not enough. That's one of my main issues with the show, is that people freak out in this show, but I don't feel like it's enough for like a giant shark. One of the big jokes in the show is that it just keeps going and people don't really care that there's like a shark talking. I mean, the parents of this dripless girl is they just don't care that she talks to him. We'll get to how she talks to this shark. I'll get to that. But mom and dad basically don't care that she has a shark, and they let the shark assimilate into their human culture and basically be her new pet. She's basically a dog. We'll get to that later, but Kenny's character is basically just an over loyal dog. I think this story, quite honestly, is a great allegory for how people see pit bulls. Very, very scary looking, but they're really, really cute, and girls can talk to them. So yeah, this is a show, and the show needs characters to survive. So we're going to talk about some of the characters. This won't be long. Kat. Kat is our main protagonist. She's the girl who's a little bit different than all the other girls. But no, Kat's pretty basic, I'm gonna say. She lives in this rich-ass looking house with this rich-ass looking pool. But I'm gonna be honest, she has no drip. As I mentioned earlier, she's dripless. How does she have all this cash but has nothing in the closet? How you spend so much time looking at the water and thinking about the water but have no drip? Anyway, I just don't think she has the outfit to cut as a protagonist in 2003 to 2005. Give me a second. I need to look up some female protagonists from 2003 to 2005 specifically. I'm looking at this list. The list of cartoons that came out in 2003. We have My Life as a Teenage Robot with the protagonist XJ9. Though she does not wear any like clothes per se because she's a robot, she is by far a more dripping character than whatever Kat's wearing. We also have Mandy, who I'm gonna say she's dripping, even though I personally don't think so, but I'm scared of what she would probably do to me if I didn't compliment her. There's also Raven and Starfire from Teen Titans that premiered this year. Also tell me if you feel old now that Teen Titans premiered in 2003. Wow. And don't even get me started on the queen of drip from this era, JoJo. And I'm not talking about the Cujo one. I'm talking about the one from JoJo's Circus. Look at that. Look at the clownfish. Kat can talk to animals, but only sharks. Because the reason Kat can do this is just because she's a super fan. Use my glasses for that one. It's because she's a super fan. She's able to talk to Kenny and understand him just because she likes sharks a lot. Can you imagine if that was real? If you could just like something a lot, like a subject, and now you can talk to it? Like if you just like, I don't know, like candles a lot, and now you're able to talk to them? Does it work with inanimate objects, or is it just objects that can talk back to you? I need to know the rules for this, but I don't think they ever get explained. There is an episode where Kenny is able to talk to the dad, but that's because he like gets hit in the head, and now he's able to talk to him. It's very weird, and I need a rule book. I need a Bible. I need something to understand the logic of this show. Also, I just want to be able to talk to things that I really like. I'm a huge fan of like pandas. I would love to talk to a panda right before it like mauls me to death. That would be sick. But yeah. That's Kat. She has phonetics. It's actually a stand. It allows her to communicate with things that she likes a lot. So that's cool. I wish I could have that stand. Next, we're gonna go over Kenny. Kenny is a shark. If you couldn't tell by the name of the show, he's a tiger shark actually. I thought they had stripes and fangs and walked on land. I guess Kenny walks on land. That's probably why they call him a tiger shark. He should probably go to the jungle. He might meet others like him. Yeah, Kenny's main attribute is that he's a little brash sometimes because he's a shark. And he also is incredibly loyal to Cat. Like I said earlier, Kenny's just a dog. His character is just that of a dog. He's incredibly loyal. He will not leave her alone. He's incredibly affectionate. He also takes that affection to the highest degree, which is fine when you're a dog. And like when that happens, I don't know, maybe they lick you a little bit more. Only at cats. I don't know what a dog does. Never even seen a dog. But with a shark, if a shark gets overprotective, he's probably gonna maul someone who's probably your grandma who was trying to give you a hug, and he didn't realize that grandma was a friend, not a foe. You remember that scene from Finding Nemo where they're with the three sharks or whatever, and they're like, friends are, fish are food. Wait, fuck. I'm just gonna play the clip. You all know.
Let us all say the pledge. I am a nice shark, not a mindless eating machine. If I am to change this image, I must first change myself. Fish are friends, not food.
Except stinking dolphins.
Dolphins? Yeah, they think they're so cute. Oh, look at me, I'm a flippin' little dolphin. Let me flip for you, ain't I something?
Right then, today's meeting is step 5. Bring a fish friend.
So yeah, he didn't get that lesson. He didn't get anything close to that lesson. So yeah, Cat loves him and Kenny loves her, but she often tries to bring him into situations where sharks, quite frankly, shouldn't be at. Like, maybe you shouldn't take your shark to the library. Just go by yourself, girl. Or bring your friends. Where are her friends? We'll get to all of that in the episode we're checking out. I've been talking a long time about how angry this shark and this family make me. I'm just angry that their house is better than mine. I have to live with Eric Cartman. So life is pretty bad right now, okay? So donate to the Patreon that doesn't exist, please. But yeah, the episode I actually want to show you guys is around that kind of idea of Cat bringing Kenny to an event that maybe he shouldn't be at because he's a shark, and her kind of being kind of selfish about that, and how that selfishness leads to her affecting everyone, and then how she deals with that is just going sorry, which is not a good lesson for Discovery kids to be teaching. I mean, like, sorry's great, but like, maybe tell her to stop doing that, because there's Kenny's in almost every episode, which means her actions probably don't change, which means she's constantly still bringing him to events where he probably shouldn't be at because he's a goddamn shark. You may have noticed that we didn't really talk about the mom or the dad. It's because they don't really have characters. They are just guardians. They just kind of take care of Cat. That is their character. So to speed run through that, actually, we will talk about the dad. The dad's weird. He does remind me of the embodiment of anxiety. I guess that's not really weird. It's just real. Cause like if I had to live with a shark and a girl who could talk to a shark, I would probably be pretty anxious all of the time as well. Yeah. So I actually he just is the embodiment of anxiety and stress, and I guess I can relate to that. He's probably the most relatable character there is. But yeah, another fun fact about this story is that this is set in Tiburon, California. Please correct me in the comments if I got it wrong. I'm not gonna make another video where I fix it, but I will know. So yeah, anyone who's in Tiburon, California, please let me know if you see Dripless Girl and her shark walking around. I wonder if it's always that weird there. It is California, so I don't know. I'm gonna be checking out season 1, episode 13, Family Vacation. Let's do it. Okay, so we start with the really cute title card with everybody in the car. I totally forgot that Cat has a brother. He doesn't say anything, at least in this episode, and he doesn't do anything. He's a dumbass baby. I don't even know if he shows up in this one. But we have everybody in the car, everybody's so happy. And then they have fucking Kenny strapped to the top like he's a criminal. It just feels wrong. I feel like if you're gonna be the like, imagine if this was a dog, right? they're getting pulled over, and they're probably all getting life, maybe even the death sentence for something like this. Like this is crazy. Yeah, and now they just got a shark up there, like they just caught him. This has to be traumatic, but whatever. Family vacation, everyone's happy, everyone's having a good time. And golly, we gotta start with this man. I know why he's just a ball of anxiety. Look at his hairline. My boy needs to like subscribe to Keep so he can try to keep this stuff, or he might just need to invest in going bald.
Want to do when we're in Washington?
Kenny and I want to go to the Museum of Natural History. We've got the world's largest collection of sea life.
That's right. The world's biggest snack bar.
You know, he's a shark. What do you expect?
Sweetheart, we can't take Kenny with us to Washington, D.C.
What do you mean? He has to come. He's part of the family.
Cat, no, you can't. You cannot take your shark to the museum. I'm worried going to the museum by myself, or when I'm with people, that I'm gonna accidentally knock something down with like my massive ass. That's terrifying. And the amount of money you would have to put in that. This dude is saying that he is going to go in and deliberately go and eat up something inside of the museum. That is gonna cost your family $1, but y'all can afford it. Look at the house. Also, Sharks in DC sounds like a pretty bad Samuel L. Jackson movie.
Right. The world's biggest snack bar.
Sweetheart, we can't take Kenny with us to Washington, D.C.
What do you mean? He has to come. He's part of the family.
We'll board him at Leave a Pet Kennel. I've already reserved him a spot.
I don't do kennels.
But Mom, I can't be away from Kenny that long. He needs me, and I need him.
Cat, it's only a few days. I'm sure you'll both survive.
But
So, obviously, they tell Kat, hey, your shark can't come to Washington, D.C. Sorry. And she's like, she just starts bitching about it. It's rude, but like, I do hate Kat. I do hate her a lot. I think that she's selfish and the worst.
Not fair. They can't separate us like this. We have to do something.
What are we going to do? They've already booked me a spot at the kennel.
Yeah, but what if the kennel won't take you?
Why wouldn't they take me?
That's what we have to figure out.
Kat and Kenny decide that since they don't want him to go to the kennel, they're going to devise a plan. And I'm also wondering, like, I'm very curious on what kennel in LA, what kennel in California is taking sharks. It's taking private motherfucking sharks and just be like, yeah, I can take care of this for the week. I got you, G. Who's doing that? How much are you paying? And can you tell me so I can tell my friends? I'll give you a shout out. That's what I was talking about at the beginning of the episode. I also love why Kenny wonders why they wouldn't take him. It's like, dude, you're a shark. Like, you can walk on 2 legs and, like, act like a person, but, like, you can eat a person at, like, any time, bro. And, like, I feel like you would. Like, if someone came for Kat in the wrong way, you would totally just, like, destroy them. And, like, that's a serious problem. I wouldn't want to deal with that in my vacation in Washington, D.C. I want to see the big-ass Lincoln statue and see how big I am compared to his big-ass feet. That's what I want to do. I want to see the giant, like, stone penis. You know what I'm talking about? Which one is that? The Washington Monument? I want to see that. See how big I am compared to that.
You know what to do, right?
Roger.
Don't you worry. We'll take good care of Kenny. Have a nice trip.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Thompson.
So long, Kenny. Play nice with the other animals.
We arrive at the kennel, and we see the stone cold lady who's going to be taking care of this shark, who agreed to take care of this shark. And she has a haircut for it. I totally see how she could be able to handle this. I'm very curious to see what their plan to get him out of this is. Is it just going to be like, hey, he's a shark. Maybe you shouldn't do this. That would be my first plan, but I don't know. I'm not the genius, like, 12-year-old.
Kenny, are you okay? What is it, boy?
Yeah, so then Kenny, he just starts coughing and yakking and doing all this stuff. It just spreaded COVID, I guess. This is probably how the coronavirus started with a shark.
Something stuck in his throat.
Has Kenny had his shots?
Well, sure, he's been vaccinated for fin rot, gill flukes, dropsy.
Oh, being the stone cold leader of this kennel, this woman, this champion, this leader, she just grabs Kenny by the jaw. and opens him up. A shark. She grabs a tiger shark by the jaws and just opens him up. I've never met such a courageous woman ever in my life, and I don't think I ever will.
How about kennel cough? I'm sorry, but Kenny can't stay. This cough will only get worse, and he'll give it to every animal in here.
But we've got a flight in 2 hours.
I wish I could help you.
So yeah, she says that Kenny has coronavirus, aka kennel cough, and he can't be in there or else he's going to give it to all the creatures. So she says, take your cough away and take your shark away. Truly, I think she was just trying to find an excuse so that she didn't have to take care of the shark. Like, would you want to? Like, can you imagine having a pet that's here and you come and you're ready to pick up your cute pit bull that you haven't seen or your cute chihuahua that you haven't seen for like 2 months, and you come back and there's a shark like a cage away from him? That's crazy. I would be like, what are you doing? This thing could have like eaten him. No, because there's a cage there. But like, I don't even like the idea of my pet being that close to a shark. I don't like the idea of me being that close to a shark. It's insane. And can you imagine like just being another regular worker there? Yeah, this lady in the front can handle it because she's a juggernaut of strength. But imagine just being there because you like animals, you like taking care of them, and then a shark comes in. It's like, yo, I love animals, but the ones that walk on 4 legs, not swim with fins, and have teeth that can rip me up, I don't think I want to feed him. And also he has kennel cloth, whatever it is. I said kennel cloth. That's so funny. He just like is wrapped up in a cloth made of kennels. It's beautiful, wrapped up in cages. That'd be a nice Met Gala dress. Kennel doesn't take him for a good reason because it just sounds like a liability. It just does. Now they have to take Kenny with them to Washington, D.C.
Yeehaw! We're going to D.C.
Kenny, you're supposed to be sick.
Oh, right.
This is the most freest and open airport that I've ever seen. No one's freaking out. There's not even a line here for these people. They're just able to go through and walk through, and it's like nothing. I love it. I love it. I wish when I was traveling it was like this. He might actually have COVID. The last time I seen an airport this free and easy to travel through was during COVID. So I don't know. This might be more fiction, more nonfiction than fiction. Sometimes I mix the two up. Sometimes I accidentally keep it in my videos.
I'm gonna need to see the contents of that stomach.
Let's look at the contents of that stomach. That just sounds like a fetishy thing. That I mean, like, if that's what you're into, not that there's anything wrong with that. I think
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
No, of course not.
I think that's fine. Like, have a thing for shark stomachs. Do it.
Hey, there's my gardening shears.
And my sewing kit. I'm sorry, but no way is that shark getting on a plane.
But officer,
Move along.
So they put him through the metal detector. I don't even know if they do metal detectors like this do they do this for people too? They just like put him on a conveyor belt and send them through? Why didn't he get the other one? He got like the bag treatment. But anyway, they find out that Kenny has literally eaten all of their appliances, and it's like, here's another logistical nightmare for owning a shark. If you have a shark, he's probably gonna eat your shit, you know? Like, that's just what's gonna happen. He's gonna do that stuff because he's a goddamn shark. But yeah, Kenny eats their stuff. And now they're like, yeah, Kenny's probably a terrorist, so we can't let him onto the plane because he might do terror things. Which I agree. I feel like if I had to be the one to sit next to my guy Kenny on the bus, because they would put Kenny in the middle seat and they would put Kat on the end, because he's probably the type of person who has to always go to the bathroom every 15 minutes. No shade to people who do that, because like, urinary tract system is crazy, bro. I understand. He would be sitting with a stranger who is just going to be like, I wanted to read my book and maybe sleep, but I can't now because an aquatic menace is watching me.
I can't believe this.
what are we gonna do?
Well, couldn't we drive to Washington?
Forget it. That's a 3-day drive.
Well, you know, honey.
They get kicked out of, I guess, LAX and get sent off. Family then proceeds to bully this man, the father, the ball of anxiousness, into driving cross country from LA, where they're at, to Washington, D.C. in a 3-day drive. I don't think anyone's going to also offer to help. The fucking shark can't offer to help. Cat can't offer to help. So, and the mom, she's like, oh yeah, honey, you've always wanted to do this. Girl, are you going to help me, or are you just going to be like, hey, you got this. I mean, like, this is coming from someone who doesn't have their driver's license yet. Don't come at me in the comments. I know it's bad. I know. Leave me alone. So they're driving. They're hanging out, right? And they're singing crappy road trip songs. I never got that. I mean, if there's a better song on the radio, I tell you we could drop it down. But they're not playing anything on the radio. They're just singing. They're just singing "Home on the Range," which is like, no, we're not cranking that. And I promise you, this type of family is a family that has probably sung this 4 times now, and they're still not tired of it. It blows my mind.
If the teacher catch me, I might beat a fucking ass. Hit her holding on my dick. If she said that, I'm off task. My homies always cheat, so you know we gonna pass. Yeah. Fuck a 20 slip, I'm not going back. If I do go back, bitch, I'm going back home. I'm a uppercut a teacher if that bitch touch my phone. If I'm looking at your paper, nigga, leave my ass alone. Don't give a fuck how I look, bitch. I'm rocking Nike slippers. Bitch, I'm shooting up the school if a white kid say nigga. That's on my game, nigga.
Then Kat has the amazing idea to make funny faces at drivers on the road. I actually think it's going to be a smooth ride from here to there because, like, why would it? Why wouldn't it be? We're just road tripping, baby. We're just road tripping.
Hang on, everyone!
Yeah, it was catastrophic. So yeah, they have a pretty bad accident and they have to stay in a motel. They have to send the car to a mechanic, which I can imagine is even more expensive when you're like on the road. You need this expedited. So yay, that's a big chunk of change probably on this fun little road trip. And then Kat has the awesome idea to go to an old western town. So that's what they're going to be doing now. I guess they're just doing like an actual road trip, like checking out things on the way. I guess getting to Washington, D.C. isn't that important. It's just like, it's about the adventure there, not really the destination. Bullshit, but I guess so. You find out that people here used to prospect for gold, and the dad just like becomes possessed by, I assume, an old prospector, and he reminisces about like his adventures getting gold, I guess. I don't know. He like literally there's like face deforms and everything. It's crazy. I think he literally got possessed. I think the accident was like pretty bad.
1800s, people came here from all over the country to prospect for gold.
Well, I'll be hornswoggled. Maybe we'll find us some.
They get on a stagecoach ride with a person who looks like the embodiment of a snake oil salesman, and he whips the horses with the enthusiasm of a kid at a candy store. It's really bad. Like, I feel like this guy enjoys it, like genuinely enjoys just like whipping the shit out of horses. It's crazy. He probably has slave master ancestors. He's wild.
Outlaws! They're fixing to steal our gold.
Coach, and the dad gets possessed again by this prospector. I'm so worried about him. He's so stressed out. We need to get him like a blunt or something. Yeah, they get attacked by bandits, I guess. I don't know I don't know if they were like told this beforehand, like, hey, there's a chance that some thugs may chase you. Like, it's all a game, but like some thugs may chase you when you get on the stagecoach thing. He didn't say anything. He just whipped that horse and left. So I don't know. With this stagecoach being attacked and it being a show, Kenny being a shark and from Shark World, who has not assimilated to all the aspects of humanity and their culture and their entertainment, believes they're really getting fucking robbed, dude. He believes that they are seriously getting fucking robbed. So he goes into attack mode. This is what I was talking about earlier with like, if someone comes at Kat the wrong way, he's gonna go ballistic and like go into shark frenzy mode. He attacks those people as predicted, and I'm surprised that they didn't get sued, bro. Like, your pet this is essentially like a dog going rabbit and attacking someone. This is insane. Why did you bring a shark here? Why did you think that he needed to be here? Is he gonna appreciate the Old West and prospectors? He's probably never even seen gold before, bro. Also, can you imagine? Sorry, I'm staying on this for a little bit longer. I'm so sorry. Can you imagine being an actor here? Can you imagine just going in like a regular day and then now you gotta deal with a shark? That's gonna be like a running theme with this show. It's like viewing this from like a regular person who doesn't have to deal with a shark on a regular basis, and like having to do that is insane. Like, there are people who are afraid of dogs. There are people who are like afraid of like, I don't know, parakeets, and like then they like see them and they like freak out, and like that's completely understandable. You know, I think it's even more understandable if you freak out when you see a shark at your work and you're not used to them being there. Unless you can work at Shark Tank, that shit should not be happening.
I'm really sorry, Mom and Dad. Kenny was just trying to help.
Kat hits them with her ultimate technique. I'm sorry, Mom and Dad. That is her favorite thing to say. And that's all she really has to say when the shit goes down. I mean, what else are you gonna do as a kid but say I'm sorry? Oh no, don't break your fucking shark. Maybe don't devise plans to do that. And the dad just looks defeated. His whole day is ruined. He was in touch with his he was in touch with his prospector like origin, and now he's lost it. Now it's gone.
He knew it was a bad idea to bring him along.
Oh, you did? You knew it was a bad idea to bring the shark?
Peter, it's not very constructive to assign blame.
Well, it makes me feel better.
Dad, please don't be mad at Kenny. I promise that tomorrow he'll be on his best behavior, okay?
All right.
So then they talk about sleep, and the mom mentions that Kenny doesn't because sharks don't sleep. And Kat's like, Kenny doesn't need to be happy. He can sleep on the ground. He'll be fine. And Kenny's like, yeah, I'll be quiet. I'll be as quiet as a clam in church.
Dad, is Kenny gonna be okay tonight? I know he doesn't sleep.
He'll be fine, Mom. He'll just lie down on the floor next to me.
Don't worry about me. I'll be quiet as a clam in church.
Which I don't really get. I've never seen a clam in church. Or a clam in church. Like instead of a slam in church, it's a clam in church. Maybe that's what clams call it. Kenny leaves because he's dealing with the torture of like having to stay up all this time, that's crazy. It kind of reminds me of the trauma that Alphonse in Full Metal Alchemist deals with not being able to eat or sleep, although it's dealt with in such a better way than in Kenny the Shark. But anyway, he's dealing with having to stay up and no one being really giving him attention, so he leaves out, goes to the pool, hops in, and he feels a lot better. He heads back into the room, only to find out in one of the funniest bits of this episode that it's not his room with his family, and he has just scared this couple who was sleeping soundly because a shark woke them up. I cannot tell you how critical of a heart attack I would suffer if a shark woke me up from my sleep. Especially, like, can you imagine if that person was dreaming of like sharks or something in their sleep? They were like having a nightmare, and then they wake up and it's there, and it's like, whoa, I'm gonna die. And so of course everyone hears these screams, everyone gets kicked out, not even kicked out. Everyone just leaves because they're petrified of the shark, and they're like, yeah, I'm not staying here. This is worse than if I like a wolf or like some like creature or some like crazy person like walked up in here and is like doing weird shit. This is the worst.
Oh, my back.
My neck.
My pussy and my crack. So yeah, they end up sleeping outside after that, and possessed dad is like, he's devastated, man, because now he doesn't even have gold or a good night's sleep. So this is pretty much the worst day of his life. Plus he's had to drive all this time by himself with no help. So it's pretty rough for him.
I'm gonna sue that motel owner for kicking us out like that.
Their shark woke up someone in the middle of the night and caused everyone to leave out, and they were kicked out. I feel like that's the least that someone could do in retaliation.
Honey, our pet shark nearly caused a riot. I don't think you have much of a case.
So Kenny comes back and he's like, hey, how'd everyone sleep? And they're clearly not happy, especially Dad, because he's still possessed. And Kat hits them with her super special ultimate technique. Mom and Dad, I'm sorry.
Dad, I'm really sorry about what happened last night, but at least now we can get our car back and head for Washington. I promise Kenny won't cause any more problems.
I really should have seen this coming. I probably shouldn't have brought Kenny, but, you know, kids make mistakes, right, Mom and Dad? You forgive me? So yeah, after the apology, a cop comes out from the bushes. I'm assuming that he had been hiding there all night, trying to gain the courage to come up to the family that owns a shark.
Is this your shark, sir?
Yes, officer.
There's no animals allowed in this park without a leash.
$100?
And he's like, hey, I got something for you, and it's a ticket. So yet another L for the family as they're given a fine for $100 because Kenny isn't on the leash. Not because he's a goddamn shark, but because he's not on the leash. Welcome to America, I guess. And finally, they understand something because they cancel the family vacation, and they're like, hey, sharks and family vacations, they don't mix. They don't go together.
I think it's time to go home.
What?
Let's face it, honey. Sharks and family vacations just don't mix.
It's not your fault, Kumquat.
Oh, the sky is blue. Water is wet. Crickets do have musical butts. Like, yes, these are all common things that most people know.
Actually, it is my fault. Kenny wasn't really sick. I got him to cough so it would look like he was sick, and then he'd have to come with us.
What?
Ding, 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 ding. Boom. We have Kat finally admitting that she lied and she put all this together and she has caused all of this trauma and anguish. She has caused all of this money. Because, golly, this trip was expensive. And though it wasn't all her fault, her mom gassed her up when they were like cross-country this, cross-country that.
I just couldn't stand being apart from Kenny. But I didn't think about you and Dad. This is your vacation too, and I've ruined it. I feel terrible.
No, it was me that ruined it.
Yeah, Kat admits to it being her fault, and Kenny, like, really bears, but he really feels, I feel like he's really sorry. Kat doesn't seem sorry at all. She's just using her ultimate strategy of apologizing for something and not really meaning it. But Kenny, on the other hand, is, like, probably genuinely confused because he's probably been doing most of the right things. Like, Kenny would not know the repercussions of such an action because he's not an adult, one, and he's not an adult human who has been living in an adult society. Adult. I'm just gonna keep saying it because I like the way it sounds.
I just think he's trying to say that he's sorry too.
Right. Well, we accept your apology, both of you.
Well, we accept your apology. We just hope that you don't try to do something like this again. I'm sorry, something like this is gonna happen in the next episode? Oh. Okay, well, I hope you don't do it after that. Oh, it happens after that too? Oh.
I can't believe we ruined Mom and Dad's vacation. I wish there was some way we could make it up to them.
I got it. We'll buy them an all-expenses-paid luxury cruise around the world.
With what?
I'll sell my dorsal fin to a soup maker.
One, showing that he cares a lot more about this than she does. Although he doesn't understand, like, the gravity of the situation, obviously he can't do that because, like, human society and, like, that probably wouldn't cost that much. I don't think one tiger shark dorsal fin will pay for a cruise. Although...
Chow time!
Wow, this looks fantastic.
I got the recipes from the Thai restaurant you wanted to go to.
You did not get the recipes from the Thai restaurant that they wanted to go to. That looks like barf. That literally just looks like some barf that she or Kenny barfed up, and she put some chopsticks in it. You got that shit off of the dark web. That is the only place you would find something like that, or maybe the Scapes of Hell. That's the only other option, but that's not Thai food, sweetheart. That's not it. In order to make up for it, she makes some crappy meal, and it's like, boom, this is just like the one you would have had, except probably better because I made it. And then her other part of the idea, which she said is probably better than Kenny's sell dorsal fin for a cruise, or at least to try to do that. She just shows them a slideshow of what they would have seen in Washington, D.C., which... I want to hate on it, but if someone did that for me with the big Abe statue and the Washington Monument, I would be like, why would you not just buy me a cheap ticket to go? You know, because you cared about, like, what I have to do. You didn't think I had the schedule for it. I would be kind of insulted. I was going to give her the benefit of the doubt for a second, but I think I would be more insulted that you went through the time to get a slideshow after you've ruined this. So your way of making up for this. I know you're a kid. I don't give a fuck. Like, she sucks, and she's selfish, and she doesn't care. She's a villain. Kenny's the hero. The dad is the hero. And I guess I'm just trying to say all the women in this show suck. If Kenny was a girl, I probably would think differently. But no, in all seriousness, it ends off on a kind of a sweet note. She tries to make up in the best way that she can, even though she's a little stupid girl. But, you know, that's all you really can do is, like, kind of make food and make a cool slideshow. She does the best she can. I kind of respect it. I think it's really cute that she took a very innovative and a move of ingenuity in order to give her parents something special. So, that was Kenny the Shark, or at least a little bit of it. I want to give some final thoughts on it, and firstly, I want to say that I find some of the art in the show to be very generic and very flat. I feel like a lot of the character designs just don't have a lot of personality. They just feel very, as I said before, generic, very normal, and I get that's what they're going for, very suburban, very natural, very regular type of town, but I feel like this type of family who would own a shark and take care of a shark would be so much more eccentric than what they are. Like, Kenny is the most exciting part of this family. And I feel like even their house kind of showcases their blandness and their genericness. Each one of the wallpapers on their rooms looks disgusting. I kind of hate how Kat's room looks. It looks like someone like barfed out those designs like randomly. Like, it feels like randomly chosen, and it doesn't really like kind of fit her theme. Like, she doesn't even have any shark wallpaper. I feel like this girl would have shark everything. She is such a fanatic for sharks that she's able to speak to them. Editing Christian here, welcome. I just wanted to say that I didn't realize that Kat actually does have aquatic themed wallpaper. It's not sharks, it's like tuna or something, or like pink salmon. I don't know what it is, but it's not sharks. I feel like a girl who is obsessed with sharks so much she could talk to them would still have shark wallpaper. I do see that it's aquatic theme. That makes me feel a little bit better. So I know it was an intentional choice, but why not just make it sharks? So I feel like they definitely could have put more personality into some of the art within this show and really gone into like her obsession with sharks. I wish there was a deeper understanding of how communication worked. I wish people reacted in a bigger way when Kenny was around. One of my favorite bits in this episode was when Kenny surprises the couple in the hotel, mostly because it is something that I can imagine and be like, wow, that's really funny and really scary, but also because it feels like the most real and accurate to what it would be like to actually have a shark that went around with you. A shark would totally do this. I love some of the things that they pointed out in this show. I like that Kenny ate the belongings of the father and the mom, and it stayed inside of his stomach. I like that Kenny stayed awake during the night. I like that, I guess, is that all I liked? Yeah, I guess I feel like this show doesn't have enough to grasp onto. Like, there's not really a lot of characters that really stick with you other than Kenny, and that's because he's lovable and the most different and exciting thing about the show. I also think that this show kind of fails on the educational front, at least in this episode. I do know some other episodes where they do take a deeper look at some of the sharks and some other aquatic life or different types of animals, but this wasn't one of them, nor is that usually a big point of the show. The show is more of a comedy adventure type of romp, but here I feel that it wasn't really trying to be educational, it was trying to be entertaining, and I feel like that's kind of a flop when you're on Discovery Kids. I feel like you should be trying to teach something, and if you're not going to be teaching educationally, you should be teaching morally, you should be teaching kids some type of lesson, and I feel like the lesson that they chose was a good one. I think that selfishness is something that needs to be addressed in every person. Every person has some level of selfishness because we prioritize ourselves. I think there's definitely a fine line between prioritizing yourself and also being selfish and taking things from people for your own gain. And I feel like Kat does that. And I think that just saying sorry at the end and being like, I forgive you without any consequences is like the show's biggest downfall. Is that she doesn't learn her lesson. They don't try to teach her a lesson because they live in this pretty prim world where they don't have to worry about that. And Kat's problems are always solved because her parent, no one gets mad at her. No one ever is upset that Kat is doing these things or that she has a shark. Their feathers may get a little ruffled, but that's really about it. Like, no one's ever like, this is it, Kat. Like, Kenny's gonna be sent away for good unless you really, really change him or whatever. And I know the show can't go on if they get rid of Kenny or whatever, but I wish they would dive deep into some of the ramifications of her having a shark and how this affects people. Because I feel like that's what is really important about the show. And one thing they could have talked about in this episode is how Kat's decisions affect people, which is what she apologized for at the beginning. And I don't think they do a good job of that in the show, of making that lesson clear. There's so much attention on Kenny's antics and Kat's apologies that they don't ever take the time to consider how other people in the world feel about it. They are only gags in the show. The way that other people react are only gags, as opposed to how people would truly react in seeing a shark, and how Kat should be more observant of how to interact in the world. But yeah, that's kind of the same gist of the show. I feel like the show doesn't educate on that front. And a way that I think the show could have strengthened this a little bit is having a better focus or a closer focus on the parents. If we were kind of seeing the effect that the parents had of this, maybe the bills that they had, there's a little bit of that with the ticket, but a little bit more of that would have been good. Or perhaps maybe like one of the kids is like traumatized by seeing the shark, or it just is like crying, and like Cat has to like talk to him and be like, sharks aren't that scary. I'm so sorry he scared you or whatever. Because like I mentioned before, I think the show is also a good allegory for how people see pit bulls. Very scary and very terrifying, but they're actually very sweet and endearing and love you a lot. And I think that if the show was trying to do that with sharks, because there's a really, really big stigma around sharks and the terror that they can cause, and really showcasing that Kenny isn't like other sharks and he is somewhat domesticated, it would be good for the show, and it'll also help Cat learn to grow. But we don't see a lot of that. Those are some of my thoughts on this show, and I'm really excited to watch some more and talk about it. And perhaps we can do some more with these episodes. Please, if you have any other TV shows or video games or anything, any other art or entertainment or videos that you might want me to check out, send it to this email that is somewhere around here, or it's in the description. I will, or maybe both, I will let you know or you will find out. But please, I would love to get some suggestions. I have some on the docket that I would love to talk about. We will be talking about Fanboy and Chum Chum. It is a show that I grew up with and I loved as a kid. I would love to check it out and see why it is so hated and everything. Because I truly have a lot of love for these awful shows, mostly because of their awfulness, but because a lot of people put a lot of care into it. Storyboarding my own cartoon, I've seen how much work it takes. And like, people don't just shit out these cartoons. There's some work in there. There's a lot of creativity. And I think that each one of these deserves to be appreciated for the amount of work that goes into it. But it's also funny to goof on that. And I think as a writer and an artist, and if you're a writer and an artist, you know that we can take a lot of lessons from bad art as much as you can from good art, sometimes even more. Because it's good to learn from other people's mistakes so you don't have to make them yourself. It's been such an honor to talk to you guys and make jokes with you guys about this video, about this cartoon. And I'm so excited to do more. I am excited that you took the time to sit here and talk to me for a little bit. Check out the video. Please leave a comment if you liked it. Like and subscribe. Check out my music. I like my Spotify, my Instagram, and all that fun stuff in the description. I will talk to you guys more about different projects and everything, but we'll say again, farewell, and thank you again for stopping by. I'm so deeply appreciative. Whoopsie. And say fuck you to Cartman in the comments if you made it this far, so I know who did. We'll be back. See ya.